Hi everyone, welcome back to the Stitches and Scribbles channel. My name is Erin and I'm here with another podcast episode for you guys. Today is going to be one of our themed podcasts, so if you want to check out what I'm working on, go to the previous episode or the next episode if it's already out. But today's topic is going to be how I get ready for Vlogmas. So this year, 2023, will only be the second time that I'm doing Vlogmas. So I want to talk about some of the things I did last year, how I tried to map things out, and how I'm attempting to stay organized for this year. So I'm going to start with the kind of crafty side of it first, as far as like storage, materials, all of that stuff. And then I'm going to dive into like how I actually plan the content, because there is some planning involved. So starting with the organization, I am definitely someone who likes to work on holiday projects during whatever holiday season that is. So I, over the years, have accumulated a lot of Christmas yarn. So, but I also know I'm only going to want to work on Christmas things during the month of December, maybe a little bit into January, and maybe starting a little bit before December, if I'm being honest. So what I do is I actually have a separate yarn storage for all of my holiday yarns. And now that we are moved into our house, I keep it in a separate room from my office, but this is my Christmas yarn bin. So we can go through some of the stuff that's in there. A lot of it you probably will have already seen before. Some of it's left from last Vlogmas. Some of it's stuff that I got at Sheep and Wool this year. All sorts of stuff. But I basically created it as kind of a like holding pattern area for any projects that I thought would make good Vlogmas projects. And I also kind of keep it with the idea of, if I don't get to it this holiday season, it'll be there for next holiday season, and that's okay too. So diving through some of the things that we have in there. This is one that I got at Sheep and Wool this year. It was one of the prizes for winning the crochet relay race. But this is a crochet windmill kit. So it has all of the yarn in there. You just need the hook, I think. Yeah, it just tells you on the back what size hook to use. Even though this one's not specifically Christmas, I tossed it in there as a, if I somehow get through all of my Vlogmas projects, this would be a good thing to also do. And even though it's not specifically Christmas, it kind of has that like vintage toy feel to it. We also have a sunroom in our house that we have set it up so it's kind of beer garden themed, and I figured this was like sort of adjacent to that, even though it's not something you'd see in a beer garden necessarily, but it was kind of the European crafty, kitschy feel to it. So that is in my Vlogmas tub as like an extra project. The other thing I have in here that I definitely want to knit this year, which if you are someone who plays Dungeons and Dragons with me, this is your time to opt out of this video for the next like 2 minutes. I purchased some minis from Bumblebee Acre Fiber Farms during the Wisconsin Sheep and Wool Festival. And I got these with the intent to knit little dice bags for my D&D group. So these are the 5 colorways that I got. We only have 4 players in our group, so I'll have an extra one. But I thought little dice bags would be a great thing to make during the Vlogmas season. These also, because it's a pack of minis, it kind of reminds me of having an advent calendar, like a yarn advent, which I know a lot of knitters and crocheters here on YouTube do advents for Vlogmas. I have opted not to again, just because they're so expensive and I have so many projects that I want to get through that it just didn't seem like a good investment for me this year. But these minis are also all Lord of the Rings themed, although I'm not entirely sure which one is which, but I'm just going to kind of match it to the colors that my fellow players tend to use for their stuff. We have one who uses a lot of blue things, so she'll get either this one or this one. One who uses a lot of greens, so he'll get the kind of tonal green one who uses usually red dice, but sometimes other ones, and this one will probably be for me because it's kind of the random one. The next thing I have in here, if you watched last Vlogmas, you'll recognize these, but last year I made a cowl by Pacific Knits. She does the doodle cowls on Instagram and Ravelry and wherever you buy patterns. And I really had fun making the Christmas one with a different set of yarn, but I originally bought 2 of her patterns. The other one was the Sitka Spruce cowl, but by the time I finished the holiday doodle cowl, I was so over doing the color work that I didn't want to do the Sitka Spruce one. I also was having a lot of trouble with my tension trying to do that one, and I ended up just frogging it and deciding to leave that pattern for a day when I'm feeling more adventurous with the color work. But I did still want to use the yarn for something, because these were yarns that I purchased from my local yarn store. The labels are in there. I'm not going to pull them out right now, and I don't remember what brand this was, but it's a really pale green. It kind of looks white on camera, and a deep forest green. So with these, I think I'll do some other sort of scarf or cowl, and have that be just kind of an easy project to work on. Also in here, oh, this is a surprise. I have a project that I started with a friend last year where we made gingerbread man garlands, and my little gingerbread men are still in here with no garland. So I guess maybe I will be finishing that project this year. So I have the materials stuffed in this little project bag. I feel like I have other things in here too. This is becoming a treasure hunt. Oh, I have all the leftovers from my holiday doodle cowl in here. So all of the extra yarns. I have a kit that I bought last year on Small Business Saturday to make spider ornaments. Those would actually be fun, and that would be a pretty quick project to do. So I will probably do those this year. I feel like there's another kit that I bought last year that I didn't get to, but since that one was embroidery, I have a feeling I put it in a different place. No, I didn't. It's right here. I have this embroidered beaded snowflake ornament as well. So those are left over from last year, and probably why I started this tub originally. I have some shiny green yarn in here. No plans for that. I have some yarn cakes in here, a red and a green. No specific plans for these, although I think in my head I was going to make a short-sleeved sweater similar to the Halloween one I made with the same yarns where one side was red and one was purple. I have a Christmas scarf that I clearly already started, although I just pulled the needles out of the stitches. That's not good. We're just going to slide those back in there and pretend that didn't happen. Yeah, I have a scarf in here that looks almost done. I think I was just trying to use up this sock yarn. So this is just a random assortment of stuff in here. I have apparently a Christmas coloring book and a little Christmas tree that I think I put on my shelf behind me last year, so I just kept that together since it goes in my office. I have some tinsel yarn that I could probably make some decorations with or use it as trim for something. I have another ball of sparkle sock yarn, and I just have a bucket that says Christmas yarn on top, which I think is probably more of the Hobie sock yarn. Other than the one little skein of something else that's on top, I think that's exactly what it is. It's just Christmas sock yarn. Those Hobie yarn packs are really dangerous because I always want to get the yarn packs that I have all the colors, Then I have to remind myself that then I have to use all of the colors. So I think at some point, everyone in my family who would like sparkly socks will probably get some sparkly socks for Christmas, because I have enough for an army, apparently. So that's my storage for Vlogmas, and I'm going to keep talking as I like slowly put things back in the bucket so that I can see my computer for the next step. When I plan out Vlogmas, last year this worked really well for me. So starting with scheduling, I started filming my Vlogmas videos early. So I actually start filming Vlogmas on Black Friday, so the day after Thanksgiving. And that means that my videos are about, I think it's, yeah, it is a week. This year it's a week ahead. Last year it was 6 days ahead. And that means that the video that I film on Black Friday is the one that gets posted November 1st, or the one that like people can start watching on December 1st. So I am planning on doing that again because it worked well for me last year, and it meant that I could do my editing in batches instead of doing it every night. And I liked that schedule a lot better. But what I usually start doing, and this time I started, I think maybe end of September, I started kind of brainstorming how I wanted to space out projects. At that point, I know when I first started planning Vlogmas for this year, I didn't know that I'd be long-term subbing. I did adjust my plan once I discovered that I would be. But I create a section in my normal video planning spreadsheet that I use where I kind of just say like the date. Normally when I plan my videos, the spreadsheet has the date the video goes live, the like proposed title of the video, and like a brief description of what the video's about. So I'll say like vlog making amigurumi from this book. And then I also have a section for any links that I need to add in the description that aren't the ones that I add to every video. But for Vlogmas, I set it up a little bit differently because it's being posted every day. So for Vlogmas, I put the filming day and then the post day next to each other so I can see how far ahead I'm going. Then I put my description. I don't really leave a space for a title because usually it's Vlogmas day whatever, and then like a short title to describe like what I'm doing. But I this year marked out which filming days I would be at school and which ones were weekend days, so that I knew kind of where I could plan in some longer videos where I'd have a little bit more filming time, because I'm obviously not going to film while I'm at school. That would not be a good idea. And I'm not getting crafting stuff done during the day, so it wouldn't be interesting anyways. But I start with kind of the big topics that I know I want to cover during Vlogmas. So if there's like a specific activity that I know I'm doing, or an event I'm going to where I can film, or like specific projects that I want to start on specific days, I block those in first. And then I kind of just try to find some other little things to fill in the gaps in between. So, I'm looking at my Vlogmas plans right now, which is why I keep staring at my computer. But this isn't going to spoil anything, but like the first day of Vlogmas, I usually do a rundown of like, here's all the projects that I want to cast on today. Here's like the things I already have going that I want to continue working on, which that will probably be this burgundy sweater. I'll start it when I get the needles, but I'll probably continue it during Vlogmas. You'll probably get another rundown of everything that's in the yarn bin. Just kind of like a day to kick it off that's a little bit more like stop and talk style than like vlog style. And I try to build a couple of those in so that I'm not constantly in front of a camera during that month, because you do need some off-camera time just to feel like a normal human again. But I planned out a couple events I want to do. Last year I really enjoyed doing a Small Business Saturday feature that came out the second day of Vlogmas. And I'm planning on doing that again, but I'll be here in the greater Milwaukee area for that day this year instead of in Missouri. So I'll have some different things that I can show you. And I also this time built in like an ambiance video as one of my filming days, just like I do those every month. I figured having one for the month of December would also be nice, so I'm going to sneak that in as well. That also gives me a day where I can just work on what I'm working on. I don't need to like do something new and fun and exciting. But I usually plan like basic ideas until about halfway through the month, and then I leave the rest blank, other than like this time I have marked which days I'll be at school. And I leave the rest of them blank because I know that eventually, like, I'm not going to be starting new projects. Like, I'm going to just be trying to finish the ones that I've got. So I know that for some of those days it might be a like, oh, I finished this project this day and can talk about it, or like another event came up that we wanted to go to and I can talk about that. So I really worked this year in general for videos, but especially once I started planning Vlogmas, to do what makes sense and not what's going to stress me out. So I really focused on like all the projects that I saved for Vlogmas instead of like trying to like find new stuff I wanted to do. So I don't have to worry about like getting new materials. If I do the like small business Saturday, I'm not gonna like look for things for Vlogmas. I'm just gonna see what I find. We also do have kind of a theme going for Vlogmas that I'm gonna try to do, but I'm not gonna reveal that yet. That'll be a surprise, and that'll be new this year. But I think doing like a general theme for Vlogmas would be fun, of like last year obviously was my first Vlogmas, but like if I had done like I'm doing all like, I don't know, like I'm only knitting socks for Vlogmas, or I'm going to, I don't know. It'll make sense when you see what the actual theme is. But I'm excited for Vlogmas this year. It's definitely going to be different from last year because I'll be full-time subbing. Last year for Vlogmas, I think there were only like 5 or so days that I actually went into school. Maybe it was more than that. Maybe it was more like 10. But this year, like, it'll be every weekday, which means that like my window of when I can film stuff is a lot smaller. So you'll definitely see a lot of like after school routines. I'll probably try to do some more cooking stuff in there if I'm cooking anything fun. Last year I actually really liked doing the simmer pot. That was something that I tried for Vlogmas last year, so I'll probably do that again. And just kind of keep you updated on what I'm working on and just keep it simple. But I know I enjoy watching other people's Vlogmas videos during the month of December, so I hope that you enjoy watching some crafty ones from me too. That's going to be it for this podcast. If you have any questions about Vlogmas, if you're thinking about doing it, or if you just have questions in general about what I'm doing, I'd love to answer those in the comments below. I love interacting with you guys here on YouTube and answering your questions or just seeing what you're up to as well. So thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below so you can be notified of all my crafty content here on YouTube. And if you would like to follow me on other forms of social media, that information will be in the description box below as well. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye everyone!